Although the match ended in a draw, one of those two managers has successfully imposed himself on the other tactically. But before we say who is it, let us start first by initially how both teams approached the game. Here's how both teams were set up. City the usual way. To have the four in the back. Rodri sitting between the midfield and the defenders. Voden moving around here. And Kovacic trying to have the balance here. So while Voden is much more attacking, Kovacic tried to fill much more in the back, allowing Rodri to go up, even sometimes Stone to go up. And he come here while Diaz go there. And Akanji gonna go this side. And Gavardiol gonna go this side. While Real Madrid have four in the back. Kroos was a playmaker, deep playmaker in the back, trying to see the passes, just to create passes from the back. While Camavinga was a fighter, the midfielder who worked hard. Valverde, most of the time, was a winger here. And he was helped a lot by Carvajal, who was going up very high and sometimes even like a main striker. That kept the balance because Bellingham sometimes go there as a striker or as attacking midfielder. It helped the balance because Rodrigo and Junior concentrating on that side. They are trying to target Akanji, who is defensively not solid as Gavardiol. And this is a place where both players like to play as well, Rodrigo and Junior. And they gang up on Akanji. And it's not sometimes because he's going up and Diaz tried to cover that space. It creates some chaos in that area here, which Real Madrid took advantage. And they created lots of chances, including one of the goal. When Real Madrid have the ball, City players were trying to go up and close that space, and leaving Haaland trying to close down. And that makes the job easy for Real Madrid to build up from the back. And that was a big mistake from Pep Guardiola, which he did the same against Arsenal as well. Meanwhile, when City have the ball, you can see Valverde jump, Junior jump, Rodrigo jump, Bellingham jump, and even Kroos and Camavinga as well. So in many occasions, they outnumber even City players. But because they are doing this one, they are forcing City to send long balls because they cannot pass through this compact area of players closing them down. And the two wingers were not able to get to those long balls, while Haaland was well dealt by Rodrigo. He was a mess. That's why City couldn't do any chances or create any real chances. They pressed very high in numbers. And you can see here, the 5 Real Madrid players are closing down the 4 City players. That's why City have no choice just to pass it to the easiest option, the safer one. Then the 3 players around the player are going to come to him. And he has no option just to pass to the goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper has very limited option. If he passes to the left or right, they're going to suffocate them with Real Madrid player. There are 2 players close to each player. So the only option he does is to send a long ball, which all the time was anticipated by Real Madrid players. When City have the ball and they are getting close, Rodri running here, Stone creating another midfielder, Gavardiol is up because Kovacic is back, and Kanji up. So what they did, Real Madrid, is they tried to keep a diamond, which is Camavinga, Kroos here, and Valverde here. That diamond was spread, and that diamond kept the shape moving left and right in the same shape. That make it passing there very difficult. And the only option for City is to pass in that area. And this is where they're going to close them down every time they do. So City has to pass the ball back. And that happened a lot. Junior and Rodrigo as well. They sit back and try to close down the players who carry the ball, trying to force a mistake. And because City was just trying to pass the ball around, they were vulnerable. And that's why every time Real Madrid cut the ball, a counter-attack just start. And it is very dangerous because City was overwhelmed and they were not ready. And they created lots of chances, Real Madrid, but their final boss was disappointing. So that defensive shape of Real Madrid was not only helping them to be solid defensively, but once they get the ball, they can counter-attack and hurt City. Real Madrid defended differently. While City was spread with the wingers coming as a fullback, Real Madrid keep the shape much more central. So you can see the 2 strikers here, then followed by the 4 midfielders who are very close to each other, creating a diamond, then the 4 defenders in the back. The 2 strikers, Rodrigo and Junior, they were very mobile, and they are the one who were closing down all the time. The 4 in the midfield, they create that triangle in between, which make it very hard to City to penetrate. Then you have the 4 backs as well in the back, which leave no space for City to pass. This is why City was keeping passing the ball around left to right. They couldn't penetrate that defense system. They overcrowded the midfield area and suffocating the City player in the middle. But that shape didn't only help Real Madrid defensively. Those 4 players, Valverde and Bellingham, Junior, Rodrigo, when they start close down up, they have the chance to take off the ball. and they start counter-attack there when City are vulnerable. And that's why City keep on passing the ball around left and right, because they couldn't penetrate that compact midfield area. And you can see the shape of the diamond midfield, how it is organized. No matter how much they are stretched, it all the time, they are very close to each other and making passing very difficult for City. As a result, they take the ball back and they start a counterattack. But City, in the end, they keep on passing the ball around. And at the end, it even go to the back to the goalkeeper. And that's clearly now reflected on the heat map, where City is clearly concentrated much more on the middle area because they couldn't able to penetrate. But you see how Real Madrid much more dangerous in the left side, with Rodrigo and Junior occupying that space, creating a lethal combination and a superiority in numbers on that side, which is something Arsenal did the same, but in the opposite side, as we showed in our City against Arsenal match. And I'm not sure if Ancelotti, he just come up with this tactic to counter City, or he simply watch Arsenal and say, you know what, I can do the same. Meanwhile, when Real Madrid attack, what City does is Diaz come back, Stone come back, Gabriel is coming back here, Akanji is here. They were so scared of Real Madrid. Roddy sit here. Gaelish come back as a fullback. Bernardo Silva come as a fullback. And Voden come here with Haaland coming there. So they creating a wall for every time the player has the ball here. And every time they go deeper, the players go deeper as well. But unlike the Real Madrid organization, the mid area look empty. So they can pass the ball around here easily because they look like a tree. And there are not too many players there in the center. City was too conservative. When Real Madrid have the ball, you have the three players, the attackers are closing the space in front of him, and you have Rodri in the back creating a triangle. Then you have the four center backs. Then the wingers become extra full backs and basically defending with six. And although that gives City some stability defensively, it harmed them attacking wise a lot. No wonder why Haaland was almost non-existing, because he didn't have enough support up front. Look here, City is attacking. Look how Junior is rushing. Look the diamond, how they're standing in front of him, make him hesitate. And that's where Junior comes and steals the ball. And they start counter-attack again. Initially, both managers started the game with a plan, but one team was dominant, and it was Real Madrid. The way Ancelotti set up his team defensive, allowing City just passing the ball around, was genius. He basically stopped City. But that's not where Ancelotti's genius stops, because the way he's set up, his team is looking to the ball. They can close down the players, and they can tackle the path of the ball and the path of the pass, which resulted of Real Madrid getting the ball in a dangerous area where City are vulnerable and they can counter-attack. And they created lots of chances. Meanwhile, Pep, that's the same mistake he done against Arsenal. Arsenal came with the same plan and he had no answer to that. So at the first half, Ancelotti won the tactical battle. But all changed in the second half with simple tweaks by Pep Guardiola. He knew that if the players keep passing the ball, they're not going to be able to penetrate that solid, compact Real Madrid defensive organization. So he swapped Bowden with Bernardo Silva, because Bernardo can't carry the ball. He's much more trickier and he is creative as well. And although that didn't change the balance, because I think still Ancelotti was in control of the game, it created some momentums and they created small chances. And one of them resulted of the goal of Bowden. So Pep scored a point for me here. Look to how they are playing close to each other, Bowden and Bernardo Silva. But look to Grealish on the far left, how far he is and how isolated he was. And that exchange was one of the reasons why City was able to penetrate at a couple of occasions. And you can see clearly how some players were isolated, like Grealish on the average position. But to be fair, he didn't have enough support from Kovacic or Gabriel. But we can see as well how Bowden and Bernardo Silva were playing almost close to each other. Although that been influenced by the two players swapping position in the second half. Meanwhile, in Real Madrid, it's clear how Rodrigo and Junior were playing on the right side. They tried to target the weakest point of City, which is Kanji. And they actually gang up against him. And that's why most of the danger chances from Real Madrid came from that side. Akanji was not able to deal with those pace and trickery and the technical ability of both players. And that's another smart thing Ancelotti done. But then when City was 3-2 up, Ancelotti gambled and he introduced Diaz and Rodri. The team was much more attacking now and they created lots of chances. And they take control of the game, not by defending only, but by this time attacking. So I give a point to Ancelotti. Those were the three key moments during the match. This is why, in my opinion, Ancelotti has won the title. So what's gonna happen in the second match? My guess is, although the second half changed from Ancelotti work attacking wise, but that's not his style, and he's playing away. So 100%, I'm certain he's gonna play with the same organization he played in the first half, control the match, and try to catch City on the counter. It fit his players, and it worked during the whole match. City, meanwhile, and Pep need to stop using two defenders midfielders in those key matches. I miss watching City attacking. I know they lack De Bruyne, it's not fit, but I wish Bernardo Silva was playing there. I was shouting for him to play there and bring another winger. Be much more brave. He was not brave against Arsenal and paid the price. And he was not brave today and he paid the price. So for me, even though it is away, I think Real Madrid have still a solid chance. And it's 50-50. Because Real gonna have the control of the game, the organization. The City will have the fans and will have individual who can create a chance and score a goal out of nothing, especially with De Bruyne's back. But that set us up to a great match for the second leg.